Good morning.
Mom is a traveling pro right now.
See?
Well, I got a ticket, I guess. I got pulled over. I know I was speeding for a second. They charged me $1,000 baht. I guess because I don't know. And he wouldn't give me a ticket. The guy in front of me, I said, how much, what did you do? He goes, 106. I did 104. I said, how much is your ticket? He said, 500. So you excited to go back to America? They look at you like you're a convict.
Oh yeah, they act like you're a criminal, and you have to spend so much money for a ticket, and they treat you like crap. Who needs that? You know, that's not respectful.
Well, good morning, everybody. Paige and Chuck here. I am leaving this morning, so our little adventure with Mom starts now. I told Mom I'll be at her house at 9. She can't check into the hotel till 3, so I don't know what she's got left to do at home. I figured by the time we get in the vehicle and get going from her house, it'll be close to 10 o'clock. So I get to the Centaura and see if we can check in early. I don't know, but we'll see what Mom has packed for her trip back to America and talk to Mom some more about her plans. I thought I was recovered yesterday, but last night I just kept getting this really bad tickle in my chest and just could not stop coughing. So I'm not fit for flight at the moment, but I got to do what I got to do. So I'm on my second cup of coffee. Had a couple leftover pieces of pizza and some juice. I should be good to go. I guess when I get to Udon, I'm gonna just climb in bed in a hotel and just relax. Anyway, I don't have anything really I need to do. I didn't really tell anybody I was going. A couple of people that I was going to play golf with, but I'm sure they'll know here in the next couple days that I'm going to be there, so, which is okay. But just sometimes it gets a little hectic trying to meet up with everybody. Anyway, I hope you guys come with us for the next few days. It's going to be a fun adventure. Good morning. Okay, Kalgam. Oh, now you want to scratch? Okay. Scratch, scratch. You get it? Not bad.
My sexy.
Love you.
Very sexy.
เดินทางปลอดภัยนะ
โอเคครับ
นี่ค่ะกับ
Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mom is a traveling pro right now.
See?
She's got all her boxes checked, ready to go.
I hope so. I hope I didn't forget something crazy.
Got your bag packed. Well, you got time. We'll be in Udon for a little bit of time.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know.
I gotta get my clothes. I said I can't forget my
Yeah, this
clothes.
is nothing. It's maybe 20 pounds.
Well, that would be awesome.
Well, I fill that thing up
Really? And it's
to
not
the
50?
max.
Well, it's half full here. The whole half
I
is
think you
gone.
can do 52 or 55 or something. I don't
It said
remember.
50.
It's on the paper. I have to go to. Yeah, but the international flight's different.
Oh. Well, half of it's empty on one side, and then the other half is just half. So I packed as light as I possibly.
But you're allowed actually 2 of these on the international
Yeah, I
flight.
know. Well, I didn't have another. Well, I do have another one, but I didn't want to do that
Yeah. All right.
unless I take an empty suitcase. That would make
Yeah,
sense.
what I do is I just pack everything in a smaller suitcase and stick it in there. That way I have 2 suitcases, you know.
Yeah, one of those.
But I bought this, I bought that actually in America, just kind of a throwdown. I don't know why. It doesn't
This
matter.
is cool stuff here.
Here, let me have all of that. These are the clothes you're bringing?
Yeah, I'll take them. Can you carry them?
Well, I can manage, I think.
Well, I think I could carry them.
Well, why don't you just let me carry them?
Well, you can carry them for sure if you want to.
Well, I'd rather carry them than have you maybe fall.
Yeah, if I trip over him, that wouldn't be good. That would be the end of the trip and everything. Maybe even me.
I don't want to pretend like I'm micromanaging my mother.
You don't micromanage.
Did you see some of those comments?
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not handicapped. I just had a hip replacement.
Yeah.
Still learning to walk. My whole inside is perfect.
Well, no, the people that just say that I guess I coddle you, or like I take. I don't remember what they said.
Well, you're caring. What's wrong with that?
deleted.
Most people don't even go see their mom.
We'll talk more about it in the truck. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. I got my water. You got water?
Yes.
You got a cold water?
I don't need cold water. My throat hurts.
Do you want some? What do you want?
I want to go.
Okay.
Forgot mine.
Huh?
So you excited to go back to America?
Well, when I get it all done and through all the airports and off the planes, I'll be very happy.
So are you nervous, or
No, I'm not nervous.
your sister excited?
She's very excited. She goes, "You need to tell me what you want to eat so we can plan on that." But the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to stop at Sam's to get some beef hot dogs, and we're going to have some chili dogs on. All right. That's cool. So she's already thinking about what we're going to do. There's a couple restaurants in Mississippi, since I lived there, that we're going to go to that has, like pollock fish with chips. And
I think one of the things when I noticed when I would go back is just I guess the demeanor of people, kind of bothered me a little bit, a little sensitive about it. I guess when I returned, like people just kind of overthought a lot of things. Maybe you won't experience that. Maybe it'll be good. But
yeah.
I think you've changed a lot since you've been to Thailand,
Yeah, I
a
don't-
lot. You may not notice it, but you have changed.
I'll see it when I get there.
Yeah. Maybe not. We'll see. I think you will. I think it'll be a good experience.
Yeah, I think so too.
A lot of, I know you saw some of the comments on today's video talking about, trying to plan everything for you to get a kind of a smooth transition for everybody.
So what's wrong with that? I think it's awesome.
Well, I mean, I guess some people, I think what it is, maybe some people just, they only search for weak people. Like they don't want, and this and that.
Well, I
don't know why people think like that, but
Well, I think I'm extremely blessed. You take care of me, make sure that I'm set up pretty good. I have my own driver. I know about the money. I mean, you've done over the top extremely well, making sure.
my only goal, I think, from the time we got you from America and brought you here was for you to be independent, happy, and strong.
Well,
I think that's been my only goal, not for you to be dependent on me, for sure. But I wanted you to be happy first, and then I wanted you to be able to take care of yourself. But you were by yourself in America,
for about 10 years.
alone for quite some time. But you had your own place, you had your property, you had your stuff. You were independent.
Yes.
How did you feel at that time? Were you happy with those?
Yeah, I mean, I have my car. I could drive. I go anywhere I want. I do anything I want. And, many times I tried to get. I had some problems with my house. It was getting old, and I was trying to repair stuff. I even called people, and they never showed up. I go, well, this is weird. Usually people, they want to.
So do you regret getting rid of the house and moving?
No, because the longer I was there, the worse shape it became.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We didn't have too many options. I guess we bounced around a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
At that point, But when you decided to come over here, well, I guess we all decided, I think your concern was, how am I going to do that? And I told you I would handle everything,
It went so smoothly. It was like a miracle. I couldn't believe how smooth everything went.
Yeah.
It's like I was treated like a princess.
So how do you feel as far as, do you feel restricted in Thailand? Like, am I controlling you, or?
No, you're not doing anything wrong. My biggest thing is the language barrier.
Yeah.
Because I have been so independent and took care of my own business. That's why I have to talk to you sometimes, say, like going to immigration, what am I going to do? I don't know anything about it. I've never lived in another country before.
Right.
So I do have to depend on you as far as the language. If anybody would come over here and have to deal with this stuff that, we have to just normally every day deal with, I don't know how they could handle it.
Yeah.
I think I did pretty well handling. I mean, I know how to go to the store. I go to Macro, and as soon as I get to the register, I know they're going to ask me if I have a card. I just say no, and they know what I'm saying.
Well, some areas are easier in Thailand,
Yeah.
for foreigners. This probably is not, It's manageable, but not.
Yeah, so I know
For a
the
lot of
procedure
people.
of everything. I know the
Yeah.
time money. I'm still a little, just a few coins I'm not sure of. But
I feel like you have a lot more independence in Thailand than you would in America.
Well,
Financial independence.
Well,
Yeah, there's always this or that,
Right, you gotta weigh it.
But you just got to do whatever makes sense to you and whatever makes you happy. There's no way I can control that. I would never tell you. I mean, I could not imagine me telling my mom, no, you're not going to do this or do that. I've tried to give you guidance and try to help you, weigh things out logically and ask you, how are you going to do this and that?
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's your life. You have to be the one to make your own decisions. But I think it's good that you're going back. The whole thing for me was I would have rather you waited till we all went together. It would have been a little easier, But I think now that I've how many times have you traveled internationally by yourself?
I've never traveled by myself.
Yeah,
I've been I've been to other countries, but I've never been by myself to it. And, traveling. But now that I'm a senior and I can get a wheelchair, they take me from one gate to the next gate to the next gate, even in, through the customs, and, so to me that calms me down. I'm not going to be walking all over the airport.
I mean, me too, because I couldn't imagine you walking from terminal to terminal and knowing where to go. And a lot of times there's not even a terminal assigned on the ticket. So when you get there, you got to look at the board to figure out which gate you got to go to, stuff like that. And sometimes it's on the other side of the airport. Sometimes you have to take a rail or something,
Right.
So when you have assistance, it's going to be hopefully a little different.
That's a big perk. And they say anybody over 60 can, get assistance to help them maneuver. That's one of the perks of being old. It's, like a senior discount.
Oh, somebody said that a special person on the internet looking for attention, I guess. And I didn't know this. They said that I'm only restricting your life and keeping you here for my own greed and my inheritance.
What?
I was thinking, I didn't know I had an inheritance. That's cool.
Oh boy, that's ridiculous. Better than shoving me in a nursing home. And
How much is my inheritance? I'm curious now.
Well, you got.
Fortunately, I know my mom's finances, so I already know the answer to that. So
you got your brothers.
I told my mom, I told you you're worried about money, and I said, don't worry about money. I have money, so
when you said,
I told you, whatever you have, spend it. Because you don't make that much in Social Security, and I'm definitely not going to collect that, from you. So
you told me when I first got here, because I didn't understand, the Thai baht and all that. And I go, how much is that? Because it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Just like you leave and go to Vietnam. What is it?
Yeah, dong.
Yeah, it's like what?
Millions of dollars.
It sounds like you can't wrap your head around it. And so I would say, how much is that? Because it sounded like a whole bunch, but it really wasn't. And you go, what, are you on a budget? I go, no, I just want to know what it is. And you said, don't worry, Mom, you got enough money. And if you run out of money, I got money. And I go, does that mean I can spend more? But anyway, yeah, it's nice to know that I can, take care of myself, and I don't.
Yeah.
You're not there saying, give me every time you get a receipt, I want to have it, because you're doing an audit on me or something.
Well, I handle your finances, which is nothing. I just, you don't have to worry about bills.
Well, you help me transfer money over, and
yeah, when you need when your number gets a little low, and I'll send more money over here for
right.
you. That's really the only thing you got to worry about is you got to watch that number, because I don't have access to that. So.
Right. Yeah, no, very. And then you do my 90-day checkup online.
What I do is not that big of a deal, and I definitely would not want to micromanage. And I told you, and I said before, if things got really bad health-wise, we'd have to hire somebody to help. Maybe way in the future, or maybe never.
Yeah, because I've been healthy all my life. Doesn't mean that nothing's going to happen. Like I hurt my back in Texas, and then when I came here, I broke my hip. I never felt my age ever until that happened, But now I'm doing better.
Well, if this works out and you're confident, then you can make another trip. I think 2 months is going to be a long time for you.
I don't know. It sounds good. I was going to go 3 months, but now I said just 6 weeks to 2 months. I think that'll be good.
I mean, you're talking a lot of days where you're probably not going to be doing anything. You might be bored.
No, just laying on my sister's pool, hopefully, and then getting a nice tan. Look at me. I look like nothing against Ohio. I was born in Ohio, but I look like I live there. Look how white I am.
Yeah.
Look at that. You look black compared to me.
But here in Thailand, nothing's keeping you from doing whatever you want here too. Like all you got to do is tell me. And I've mentioned before that I don't know a lot of times if there's a problem, and I think you're bored because you never talk to me. You never say, hey, I'm tired of sitting around. I'd like to go to the beach. Can we make that happen? I think a lot of times you feel guilty, like asking me.
I really don't. I really don't.
Hope not.
I just really like to stay home. I've traveled. I was raised traveling all over the place, and once I settled, I go, I'm done trying. I'm not the adventurous person. Yeah. This is going to be an adventure, but I feel good about it.
I mean, I've told you before, hey, we're going on a trip. You want to go? And you always say, are we going in the mountains? I'm like, yeah.
No, I don't like the mountains.
You're not really good in a vehicle. You don't like to be in a vehicle very long, So.
No, well, and especially now with my hip, if I sit too long, I cramp up. I think everybody.
I mean, whatever. If you're bored or whatever, that's it's on you. You got to tell me.
I don't usually ever get bored. I always have something I need to do. I think I get tired more than I get bored.
I try to just give you suggestions that maybe you haven't really thought about, like get a condo in Udon. You like Udon.
I do.
Why don't you just we'll go look at the condo, and you can get a feel for what it is, and you can just sit in this furnished condo for a month. You can get a grab taxi, go shopping, you can go to the market. You can just have a different, a perspective,
Right,
and just get away from stuff, But you can do that anywhere in China. But I thought maybe you just do that in Udon to get kind of a feel for it,
right?
And then before this, I was going to take you to Bangkok, and I still will later on. I thought you would enjoy a trip. We fly from here to Bangkok, and then just take the rail system and go do some shopping and go eat they have all kind of food there that
Yeah, in Bangkok it's different.
they even have Red Lobster. You know, they have a lot of stuff there that is familiar to you. You know, shopping too. I thought maybe, you know, that's so easy to do that me and you could just go do that for 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's what you want to do, and I just feel like maybe you're bored.
When I'm not bored, I really like being home, and I like my quietness. It happens when you get older.
Well, I'm there. I've been there a long time. You know, I don't really.
Yeah, when I was in Texas by myself, I was okay.
Yeah.
I go out shopping because I can speak the language. You know, I'm from America, so you know, I just went out and did stuff. Here, you know, I go shopping maybe once a week.
Yeah.
Total, and then I'm done.
I don't know. You know, I'm just the type of person that just makes things happen.
Well, I know you are.
I don't. I've never really was good at depending on other people.
Neither was I.
And I never would ask anybody to do something that I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, your grandma was definitely like that.
yeah.
I mean, I would say, why didn't you say something? Somebody would help you. Oh, I could do it. It was funny. She's 65 years old, climbing up on a roof, patching up the roof.
Yeah.
And my neighbor would call and say, your mother's up on the roof. She's climbing a tree going up on the roof, or a ladder. She was always doing stuff. So you get it honestly.
And I got irritated with you when I'm trying to explain to you how we need to do the little online deal, and when I'm saying, you know, I'll do it for you if you want to, but then you sent me a video on how to do it. It was like
do what?
That online check-in when you arrive in Thailand. The form. I forget the name of it. You know.
Yeah.
I was like, I've already done the research, and I'm going to tell you I can do it, and then you just send me a video on how to do it. Okay.
Well.
Or when I'm telling everybody, you know, I'm having to schedule this, you know, your ticket around layover times, and you know, and trying to make the right times, and you know, and then people say, well, make sure she has more than an hour layover time. I'm like, why would I be that stupid? like, oh my God, I thought 30 minutes was going to be good enough for my mom to get on the other side of the airport, you know? Like, really?
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just, sometimes I get irritated. But I know it's just people, it's just
trying to help. Everybody's got their own way of doing things, you know. No, everybody's the same.
And I'm very stubborn, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I'm wrong, I'll fix it. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. But, you know, normally I try to look at the entire big picture of everything and make it work.
Well, my problem was they said everything was going to change in May 1st of 2025, so I just wanted to see what was the changes.
Well, I try to explain to you that a lot of videos on the internet, a lot of stuff is just more negative driven because they want you to watch the video because that's how they're making money, you know. But for me, like you had said, that they're checking prescriptions on medications. So my first thought is, okay, thousands of people an hour are traveling through that little customs immigration booth. Can you imagine the backlog and the chaos if everybody had to dig out some kind of prescription medication? It would be like on the news because people would be freaking out. Oh my God, I couldn't take my insulin because I didn't have a prescription. You know, it would be like headline, like it would be crazy. and then, you know, it would cause problems with the airline industry, you know. That's how I think. I step back and go, well, yeah, that's not going to happen, first off, you know.
You know, they want their money. If they make it too hard to travel, nobody's going to travel.
Even if they want money, it causes them to lose so much money. I mean, people start having negative thoughts on traveling. I mean, the stock market is going to destroy them, you know. That's not going to happen. They're not going to, like I just traveled, you know, and Mitch carries a lot of medication. They would not, you know, unless you've got boxes of like, you know, you got
like you're a pharmacy.
You got 45 boxes of Viagra in your backpack, okay?
You're going to be busy.
And you're going to Pattaya, right? How are you? What are you going to say? You better have another suitcase full of cash, first off, you know. You're going to probably have to explain why do you have so many boxes of Viagra,
well, probably
right?
because you're going to help some guys out selling.
Yeah, most likely. So, I mean, that's just common sense stuff, you know.
Well, there's not like sense in the world anymore. That's why.
And a lot of people, when they're in the airport, they shop, and they only carry their backpack. So, you know, maybe I've never seen them really. Only in America have I ever seen them be really strict on how many items you can bring on the plane and how much can it weigh. And not everywhere, but just some states are kind of stricter than others. But a lot of like Chinese people, when they travel, they've got tons of crap. They got crap just coming out of their suitcase. You know, nobody ever checks anything, but can you imagine the chaos that's going to be all of a sudden, you know, they're demanding more money for you to bring your carry-on bag. I'm not talking about your luggage. I mean, yeah, sometimes it has to fit in the compartment. That's only obvious, you know. And I've seen people trying to cram stuff in there, and then it delays the flight, and they end up having to check this thing in because they let this person bring this oversized bag onto the plane, you know. But I've seen people bring big giant like rucksacks. Like, how the hell did you get that on the plane, you know? And they're trying to cram it up in the top. But I think, you know, like my backpack weighs probably over 10 kilograms. It's more than what it should be. So, and because my computer is so heavy, but I've never had them weigh my backpack, and it is full of all kinds of crap. I think a couple times I've gotten flagged coming through like a small airport in Thailand where they want me to open the backpack, and they're not telling me what they're looking for, but they're asking me to take the stuff out. But because I got a lot of stuff like cables and cameras and batteries and stuff like that. But, you know, what's the worst could happen? You know, they take your I don't know, what kind of pills do you have?
Me?
Just your thyroid pill, right?
Yeah, but I did find a bottle that had my prescription when I was, you know, with my sister. So I have the prescription bottle, and I don't have to have a doctor's note in Thailand to get my thyroid medicine.
I mean, I have stuff like this.
Yeah, I have one of those too.
But when you're looking at this through through that little machine, they're not going to know what it is. It just looks like a pill. It could be, you know, whatever, something illegal.
Yeah, well,
but they've never asked me to open that up and look.
Yeah, it would take, you'd have to have a doctor's appointment at the airport just to show them your stuff.
Well, just they don't have the manpower to do that. I mean, they have things like dogs. Yeah. They have little ways of checking for narcotics. Right. You know.
Maybe it's illegal stuff.
And I don't know how they do the scanning stuff, you know, on the check-in luggage, but you know, it all works out somehow. You know. Who knows? But I wouldn't worry too much about it. Travel needs to be easy. I think in America it's the worst because you got to deal with TSA and all that stuff, you know. I hate traveling in America. They just, every time you go in there, they look at you like you're a convict.
I mean, yeah, they act like you're a criminal. And you have to spend so much money for a ticket, and then they treat you like crap. I mean, who needs that? You know, that's not respectful. They understand that, you know, they're looking for a certain thing, but they don't need to make everybody feel like a criminal.
I tell you, since you're going back on your own, it's kind of a relief for me because I don't have to go back next year, you know, because I didn't really want to go back. There's no reason for me to go back, really. Dad was supposed to come this year, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I got to talk to him again. And my kids, they're so busy right now.
Yeah, I know. My sister's having company from Houston Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm coming in Monday. So she's always busy, you know. But she said, I'm not busy now. It's a good time for you to come because they already got plans to go on a cruise and that, you know, in November and that. And she goes, right now's a good time. I said, well, that's good. All right. What are we doing?
Oh, it's a traffic stop. Checking the window sticker.
Oh boy. Yeah, make money somehow.
You go like 101, they will definitely pull you over.
Do you have your thing on?
I've been going a little too fast. I think I've been under 100, but this is what, the fourth one or third?
I guess you need to slow down then. They're looking at tags right now.
I don't know what the hell they're doing. This is the second time I've done this, I guess, so.
See, they're making enough money right there.
They stopped the guy in front of me, they stopped the guy behind me.
Yeah, see, they're making enough money. You're legal. Good job.
Well, we are almost there, about 30 more minutes. Mom wants to eat at Burger King.
Yay.
Imagine that.
Yeah, already starting.
So, you still okay with Thailand, Mom? Or you still feel like Thailand is home? Or, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, the only problem I have is the language, but it's very easy. It's very affordable.
I'm very interested in knowing when you get back how you feel about your culture. If your mind has changed a little bit, you know.
I think that would help. I have thought about that a lot. Like, you know, going back and coming back. That would kind of weigh things a little bit more, you know. And
when I got to the airport, I could tell. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I knew right away.
In America?
Yeah.
Why?
I just was super annoyed. Like, people were just annoying. Like, they just complained about every single thing, you know. And then everybody's looking at, like, if I had a camera, I was so used to filming everything, you know. And I show my camera, and everybody's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? Like, why do you have that?" And I'm like, "Huh? What's your problem?" You know. It's just a weird feeling, you know.
Well, I felt that I've always felt that way. It's like, what do you look, especially in Florida. I don't know what it is about Florida. I guess because I was raised there. Like,
you try to be nice to somebody, and they think you're trying to sell them Amway or something. I'm just saying hi, dude. I don't really care about your finances.
That's funny. What is she selling?
Anyway.
What are those yellow things?
That is stuff to make you poop and orange juice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
So if you buy some, you're having issues. Give me some of that stuff. I need it.
It's mango, but a lot of times it's like a young mango, and it causes you to use the bathroom quick. If you need to use the bathroom, young mango, they sell it everywhere.
It looks like a skinny
It's a little crunchy, though. It's a mango, just not ripe. You know, it's just crunchy.
It looks okay. They sell that at Tops?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's they selling? Bring it out of the way. Oh man, now what's this gonna cost? Huh?
About 500 baht.
Do you have that?
Well, I got a ticket, I guess. I got pulled over. I know I was speeding for a second, but it looks like everybody in the whole damn place is speeding too. Now they're letting a few people come by. Oh well, my luck run out, I guess.
You can turn her thing off if you don't want to turn it off.
That's okay. When they see a phanomphanaruk, they go, he said 104. That's probably right. Wow, this one's 1,000 baht. That's pretty good. They charged me 1,000 baht.
Why?
I guess because I don't know.
1,000.
And he wouldn't give me a ticket. The guy in front of me, I said, "How much? What did you do?" He goes, 106. I did 104. I said, "How much was your ticket?" He said, 500. I said, "Well, I guess I get the phanomphanaruk." I sent it inside and all that. I told the cop, "Give me the ticket." It's 1,000 baht. I said, "Give me the ticket." 1,000 baht. I said, "I don't have 1,000 baht." I said, "I scan pay." So maybe he just gave me. He didn't give me the ticket. He gave my license and a little piece of paper. I was like, "What can he do?"
Wow.
I mean, it's only little money, $30, you know.
My goodness.
Well, that's actually not the first time that's happened to me, but it's not. I wanted him to write a ticket so I can see legitimately why he charged me 1,000 baht. So I can only assume it wasn't legitimate because he wouldn't write me a ticket, but everybody else got a ticket. The guy in front of me was going 106, and his ticket was 500 baht. But he wouldn't give me a ticket, just wrote 1,000 baht on a scratchy note, on a sticky note. So I told him, "Okay, well, I'll scan pay then." Anyway, I don't know why they got to do that. I guess because they can. I was speeding. I don't mind paying. I was in the wrong. My fault. Mom wants to get a scale. I have an electric one, but it keeps, even though I put a battery in there, it just keeps on messing up. So see if we can find like a manual, like a luggage scale. Patty looks pretty small on that too.
I was thinking that myself, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
Or that is to the hamburger.
Well, that was good. Mom wants to. You don't like those? Mom wants to get her sister some elephant pants.
Huh?
You can wear elephant pants and do your hair in hair buns together.
Not my hair, what's left of it.
Yeah.
Is it still dark in the back?
I don't know. It looks okay. What do you want?
I just want to know how dark
It looks like the rest of your hair, except there's no blonde in it.
it is. Well, this is white, isn't it?
It's more like, yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So last time Mom was here, she's been having a hard time finding glasses that work for her. And she's been wearing these ever since you got them, which is good.
I like them.
So she came and found this nice gentleman, and she says, "You gotta come meet my eyeglass friend." And this is ชื่ออะไรฮะ
ชื่อต้นครับ
Ton. And if you come into Lotus right here, yeah, his shop is right here actually. But very
And
helpful.
he does
to Mom.
everything. He does to exam everything here. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Mom's pretty picky, but she was very happy.
I am, finally, after the 3.
Well, I dropped Mom off at the Centaura. It is 2:30. I'm going to hit 5 racks of balls and then head to the hotel. I'll be right back. Well, hitting them very straight, very far. We'll see if I can keep that up on the course tomorrow. I think I can. I think I got it figured out. Yeah, right. Well, I chose the Old Inn again. This time I'm staying in their largest room. They had a deal on it. I've never stayed in a really big room, I don't think. So we'll go check that out. I think it was about just under 1,000 baht. I might just take a nap, I'm tired. I have arrived. Bathroom, decent size. Well, I think it's probably just as big as the other room, except it has this table. I guess the only benefit is that it's got a balcony if you need that. All right, I'm gonna take a nap.